For Monday, April 16, 2018, this is the 7th update with all the gaming news that's fit to rib.
Hello, I'm the 7th level. A flood of shock-induced excrement flooded my pants this weekend when an anonymous fan gifted me with a Vectrex, a classic and highly sought-after retro console that retails for over $300 to up to $1,000 depending on the condition and what's included. There's no punchline for this because a free fucking Vectrex is never a laughing matter. The price of Atari 2600 Classic Adventure is rising dramatically due to the game being used as a major plotline in the hit film Ready Player One. The original box for the game is also rising in price due to collectors who only own the cart seeking to complete their collector's piece. I have a lot of friends in the retro community who do this. I've seen the Game Chasers spend a good amount of money on boxes for games they already own. Me, I don't do this shit. Unless it's disc-based, I only care about the game. I've told Billy and Jay 1,000 times, you can't play cardboard. Son of a bitch! And now, dear friends, it's time
for Tales from the Crumbside.
Crumbside curtain-jerking jobber the Black Baron has lost yet another bet to Black Bond. This time he bet that God of War would not hit 95 on Metacritic. And if it did, he would buy a PlayStation 4. But once again, Black Baron is running for the curtain and backing out of the bet, all the while patting himself on the back for doing so. Consequently, his in-ring name has been changed to Blackberry. Only old school WWF fans are going to get that joke, so if you only started watching in 1996, don't even bother. In advance of its April 20th release, God of War's reviews hit the internet this week, many hitting that coveted sweet 10 out of 10 mark, with some not only proclaiming it to be Game of the Year, but even going so far as to state that it is the game of the generation. Forlorn Xbox fanboys, not knowing what else to do, reached out to Phil Spencer for comment, who simply replied, "I'm sorry. Sorry. So sorry." Sega announced the Mega Drive Mini this week, then kicked themselves square in the nuts by following that up with the fact that it was being designed and manufactured by At Games, the company who is infamous for screwing up the emulation on damn near every Sega retro clone console they've ever had their fingers on. At Games has stated the Mini will be running on all new tech, sounding for all the world like a spouse beater trying to lure their significant other back into the house. Come on, baby. I've learned my lesson. It'll be different this time. Wannabe online vigilante group Bully Hunters lost all their sponsors within 48 hours of their initial episode airing, when it became staggeringly apparent that the bullying and harassment on display had in fact all been faked. What you gonna do for episode 2, Bully Hunters? Have Logan Paul guest star? Attack on Titan Wannabe Extinction released this week, or as it's also being called, the Xbox One. I'm sorry. Sony announced that they will be shutting down the servers for PS3 kart racers Mod Nation Racing and Little Big Planet Karting this coming July. And if this is something that still upsets you, then I have some bad news about your Betamax player. There's a ransomware floating around out on the interwebs that compels you to play PUBG or lose your files. No, anything but that. Anything but that. Here, how much you want? How much you want? You can have my credit cards too. Please, please. God of War pre-orders are sold out in most major online retailers and in multiple countries. Not too shabby for a series that, according to the first game's director David Jaffe, was directly inspired by Devil May Cry. But Japanese games are a niche market, right, Crap Gamer? Quasi-famous 80s gamer Billy Mitchell's records were removed from Twin Galaxies after it was revealed that several of his records had been achieved on a MAME emulator rather than an unmodded arcade cabinet. Dims the rules. Mitchell responded this week, stating he was amassing evidence to prove his innocence. No one gives a fuck, Cupcake. Apologize to Steve Wiebe, then go back to selling your nasty-ass hot sauce. A new game is coming soon entitled PC Building Simulator. This unique title allows you to virtually build the PC of your dreams. Wish fulfillment for some, but for Zaire, it's Tuesday. During an interview at PAX East, Bethesda's Pete Hines dropped hints that Doom 2 might be revealed at E3. Shortly thereafter, I revealed that my prostate exploded all over the inside of my boxers. And finally, Chris Boards, also known as the Irate Gamer, announced this week that he'd be returning to YouTube with new Irate Gamer videos. His first new series for the Revive channel? Chris and Mike Mondays. And that's all the gaming news that was fit to rib. As always, I am the 7th level. Check it down in the description. You guys know what to do. Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous, thanks again so much for the free and lovely Vectrex. I shall cherish it forever. And until next time, show me your red, son!
The preceding Batshit Insanity was brought to you in part by donations from my supporters on Patreon. Go ahead, toss me $1 a month. What's the worst that could happen?